and employees that would get these freak-off rooms ready. That goes to the racketeering aspect because it's a criminal enterprise that are committing the crimes. When it comes to the transportation of escorts, she named at least 13 male escorts.
Wow.
And she testified that she was doing this at the direction of Diddy, hiring these escorts with Diddy's money. And so that goes to the charge of Diddy transporting escorts through state lines, because she also testified that these 13 escorts, they were having freak-offs in various cities all throughout the United States. And then lastly, with respect to sex trafficking, and I think this is the controversial one in my opinion, she talked about the numerous instances of domestic violence that happen during freak-offs, before freak-offs, after freak-offs, throughout. And from that, the federal prosecutors are trying to say it's from that cycle of violence that she felt coerced into having sex with these male escorts. So they did a pretty effective job today.
And from your perspective, it will be the defense turns tomorrow. From your perspective, what do you think will happen there?
Well, remind me of your name.
Thompson?
Dr. Thompson mentioned swingers, which is a consensual thing. And I think what the defense attorney is going to have to show is that you guys are living a swinger lifestyle, and you chose to do it. A couple of times, Cassie would say things like, I did this because I loved him. I did this because I didn't want somebody else to do it with her. So those are choices that you're making. You may not have liked it, but you made that decision because you wanted to make your man happy. And I think they're going to really have to tease that out. Yes, there is domestic violence, and they're going to have to embrace their bad fact. But if you paid careful attention to Cassie's testimony, she never said Diddy said, if you don't do this sex act, I'm going to beat you. She just said he was beating me all throughout. So they're going to have to get into to some specific questions. Did he ever specifically threaten you, do the sex act or else? She said she took a lot of drugs. They should ask questions like, did he force you to take drugs? You took those drugs voluntarily. He never drugged you without your knowledge, did he? So things like that, where they have to show you made specific choices, whether or not you are now not liking those choices and regretting those choices. You made choices. Lastly, with respect to credibility, she testified that she's jealous. So that's a reason to lie, right? She's jealous because he moved on. She also testified that she won a $20 million settlement, an incentive to embellish because you're getting a financial benefit from sticking to this version of events. So I think there are some effective things that can happen on cross-examination that can undermine her credibility and lay the defensive theory out of their case.
And how important is it that the defense they don't come across as badgering her before that jury?
Yes. In law school, we were taught you can cross without being cross. So I'm speaking very animatedly right now, but one strategy that they're going to do is they're going to have a female defense lawyer cross-examine her. When I cross-examine women in some trials, what I'll do is I'll soften my tone like this. Isn't it true, ma'am, that you took those drugs voluntarily? Is that true? So you don't have to be loud, but you can be very matter-of-fact, and I think that way you don't turn off the jurors when you're trying to make your points on cross-examination.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the